All right, hello everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. It is Wednesday, December 23rd, 2020. 2 days after the Great Conjunction on this past 21st, that also was lined up with the winter solstice, and 2 days before Christmas. So this is a really interesting time that we are right here at the middle of the week and in the middle of a lot of celebrating, in the middle of a lot of shifting of energies in a very, very significant way. So we're definitely glad to be here as we are every Wednesday for the Wednesday Hope and Healing Hour. And we're just going to, we'll kind of share some different information. And if there's anybody who would like to receive some healing as it relates to the physical health, as it relates to emotional state of being, or anything like that, we're more than happy to provide that support. I see that there are a couple people here. Just love for you to check in, say hello, let us know who's here. We'd love to acknowledge you. Also, it's much more enjoyable on my end knowing who it is that I'm connecting with, rather than just looking at this green dot on my computer screen. At any rate, here we are at a really interesting juncture in the course of human history. And I know I say that a lot. It's really particularly interesting, like I said earlier, coming off of this great conjunction that just took place 2 days ago. The last time we had this kind of planetary alignment, as far as Jupiter and Saturn are concerned, the last time they were this close was actually back in 1623. Hey, Brenda. What's up, Brenda B? So you must be at the from the Transcending the Matrix Facebook group, because it's just showing up as user. So Brenda, thank you for saying who you are, so I can actually know who it is that that is that Facebook user. At any rate, um, I've done a little research, been doing some praying, some reflecting, and it's really interesting. I've been kind of reflecting upon the way this year, not just this year, but the last few years have been going, and in a way, it's you've heard the concept of the calm before the storm, and uh, there's also, I remember in 1995 when I was in Alabama at the time, and there was a hurricane that came through, and it was surprising because we were relatively far inland. But this hurricane came through. The eye of the hurricane went not too far away from where I was, and I was really concerned because there were times where I was really concerned about if the wall would come in. That's how hard the wind was blowing. There ended up being large trees all over the place that were uprooted. There was didn't have water or electricity for a week or two. It was an interesting situation. That that storm, after the storm took place, though, there was a calm that followed the storm. So yes, there can be a calm before the storm, but there can also be a calm after the storm. And I really feel like for many of us, this can be a situation that we're moving into now, of experiencing a calm after the storm. There were certainly many challenges that we faced collectively as a human species on planet Earth. Certainly this year in particular, with COVID-19 and everything that's come as a result of that, whether it be people transitioning, not being able to connect with other people physically, travel really significantly slowing down. There seeming to be a great divide in terms of whether people feel like the virus actually existed, whether or not it was a hoax, different conspiracy theories, even a lot of political divide where that was concerned. There's been a lot that's been going on. Financial concerns that have resulted as a function of this. There's there's been a lot of challenges. There have been a lot of challenges over the last few years, honestly. I think too, though, about I don't remember if I saw it in a movie, but there was this saying that um, an old tiger tends to fight its most vigorously just before it knows it's about to die because it knows it's on its way out, and so it scratches and claws and demonstrates all of this ferocity. And in a lot of ways, perhaps that's kind of where we are right now. In a sense, we are at a point where we're moving into or have kind of stepped right in the portal of going into a new dimension of existence, a new reality, a new experience on planet Earth. The magnetics of the planet are changing. We're moving towards what's referred to as 0 point. With that, the thoughts and the feelings that we're having will be materialized, made manifest much more rapidly. With that, it's really important that we're really mindful of where it is that we are giving our energy, where it is that we're giving our power, because whatever we focus on, that's where we're giving energy, that's where we're giving our power. And we are creative beings, um, co-creative powers with God, made in the image and likeness of God. And so we have creative capabilities as well, manifesting capabilities as well. We're going to see that happening a lot more significantly, I feel like. And whatever it is that we're thinking and feeling about, that's what we'll be manifesting. So it's really important that we do everything that we can to minimize the quote unquote negativity and to maximize the sense of optimism and sense of well being. Because wherever we're putting our thoughts and attention, we're going to see more and more of that manifest. So we'll be seeing, there'll be people having totally different realities in the same environment, but having two totally different realities based on, um, it said that energy follows consciousness, based on where we're directing our consciousness and therefore where the energy is going. Because we're going to be, wherever we're directing our energy, is going to be given a much more significant boost than it has in the past. And so it's really important that we be mindful of that in terms of uh, helping to support us in terms of a more life affirming mindset. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system takes in the things that we see, the things that we hear, the things that we take in through sensory impressions. And then that um, kind of downloads those experiences really, in essence, into our subconscious reality. It's our subconscious mind that really is the seat from which all of our life experiences, in essence, are birthed. Okay. And so we take in these different sensory impressions. We have these things that are going on deep within our subconscious mind in terms of our perception of reality, our perception of how things are going to be. And then they end up becoming very much that way as a result of that being where we've given our attention. And this is very much in the subconscious. It's not something that we are very typically consciously aware of. So it is important that we are consciously intentional about making sure that we are, particularly at this juncture, now going forward, that we are really feeding our minds, feeding our awareness, things that's going to uplift us, things that will give us hope, things that will give us actual nourishment of our souls, that will give us a sense of well being, that give us a sense of optimism. There will still be things, I'm sure, that will challenge us in different ways. But that sense of optimism sense of faith that everything is going to work out, that everything is working out, that indeed it already has been worked out, and we're just uh, in the process of flowing through that. Okay. And so, with that being said, I encourage us all to really kind of limit the amount of the negative news that we're taking in. Be mindful of what it is that we're checking out on social media. By the way the logarithms work on social media, whatever it is that you're responding to, reacting to, commenting on, sharing on social media, the way that the logarithms work is that's what you end up seeing. That's what ends up being programmed to you. It's really kind of uh, a human technological way of demonstrating what's going on with our actual inner technology, our spiritual technology, in terms of, I think about this scripture. I really didn't like the scripture when I first saw this, quite honestly, that those who have will receive more, and those who don't will lose even the little bit that they have. I thought that was just unjust. What it really is a way of pointing to how it was that we are designed, how it is that we're created, what it is that we focus on, we end up getting more of. All right. This is a reality that we are moving into that none of us will really serve ourselves well to try to ignore. Okay. Whatever it is that we're focusing on, we are going to be manifesting that much more significantly, much more powerfully, much more quickly. Even in terms of what it is that we focus on social media, that's the kind of stuff that will be having fed to us. So, um, if you are viewing this video, whether live or replay, you obviously are on social media. So hopefully the things that you'll be viewing, things such as this that are uplifting, that are encouraging, something of a spiritual nature, the more you're actually viewing these types of things, the more those types of things will show up in your feed. Even the more these types of things will show up in your searches. So that's something to really just kind of keep in mind. All right, I feel like I digressed for a while, although it is uh, in some way related to what it is that we're ultimately talking about. All right. Now, a thing that I want to say for us is we are going forward from this now moment on forward is besides um, being mindful of what we're allowing to enter into our ear gates and our eye gates, what conversations we're allowing ourselves to be exposed to, what it is that we're checking out on television or on social media and things of that nature. In addition to those things, I want us to have a sense of hope and a sense of well being because the reality is that, yes, we have been in a difficult time, but also, even in the midst of the difficulty, haven't there been blessings that have unfolded as a result? And I'd like you all to just jot down in the comments what are some of the blessings that you experienced, some of the things that actually ended up being birthed through you or in you this year. You know, as difficult of a year as it may have been, or as trying of a year as it may have been. I can tell you, you know, one of the great blessings of my life is this work of transcending the matrix. That was actually birthed in my life experience many moons ago at a time. I didn't even have electricity in my house. I was living in Detroit at the time. So um, it gets cold there in the winter. So I didn't have a way of having, well, I didn't have air conditioning. I didn't have a way of having fans on in the summertime. And no furnace in the winter time. In the winter, I actually heated my little place through the stove and the oven. They stayed on the whole winter long in freezing cold Detroit. But it was in that moment of not having a lot of the distractions that I would have normally had that I ended up um, working on the development and creation of transcending the matrix. That was that's kind of the backstory for how transcending the matrix ended up being birthed. And you know, we've been able to utilize this methodology to help a lot of other people to experience some really transformative things as it relates to their health, to train other people to be able to utilize this, and really, quite frankly, to utilize myself to create some transformations and experience some transformations in my own life, not only in terms of my outward perspective, but in terms of my inward reality and my own spiritual development, growth, and unfoldment. All right. And so, in a similar way, this year, yeah, it's been a tough year, you know, um, but there were some good things that happened as a function of this. Peace to you, Jennifer Bliss. Good to see you as always, my sister. Um, and if Brenda's still here, I thought about the fact that you know that Soros would appreciate my pink shirt behind or in front of the gray green background. So shout out to you, Jennifer, and you, Brenda, on on that note. At any rate, I digress again. Um, in the process of the challenges of this year, um, I started doing these live videos and being able to reach people that I hadn't been reaching in a while. It had actually been well over 6 years since the last time I taught a single Transcending the Matrix class. We got that going again this year, and have plans of holding another class next month in January, the early part of next year. And it was a time that I ended up actually connecting with people that I would not have otherwise connected with in a meaningful way. No, I wasn't for over half a year. I did not have a single meal with another soul for over half a year. Not sharing a hug or standing face to face with another person without a mask on. Those were things that were part of the difficult aspects of the reality, not really going out and socializing because things were locked down. But at the same time, uh, actually experienced some deepening of some relationships, some births of new relationships, a death of one relationship, but births of other relationships, in healthy ways that I'm appreciative of. Um, it's been opportunity to really be able to focus on really, quite frankly, you've heard the saying, physician heal thyself. It's been an opportunity for me to uncover some areas where there were some definite growth opportunities, and grew, I feel like, in a sense of humility, and hopefully in some spiritual maturity. Uh, it's been, yes, it's been a year where there have been challenges, but it's also been a year where there have been blessings. So again, I encourage you all to to just kind of share some of the blessings that you've experienced as a function of this year. Also, I'm closer to family, to being around people who I love and who love me, and there's certainly a blessing in that. Um, a lot of good things have happened this year. It's challenging, yes, but there have been a lot of good things that have happened too. And I want to say for all of us, no matter how difficult the moment or the situation is, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. I think about all these scriptural things are coming to mind today. I think about the words of the psalmist in the 139th Psalm. Um, and to me, it just feels better in the Old English. Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend into heaven, thou art there. Here's the catch. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning or get lost in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there thy hand shall hold me, and thy right hand shall guide me. If I say that it's dark all around me, it's still light to you. The dark and the night, the day and the light, they're all alike to you. I kind of brought it up into current terms towards the end there. The reality is, I often say, we think about heaven. What is heaven? Heaven is where God is. Heaven is the home of God, or the presence of God. Yet, we also understand that there is no spot that God is not. And so I think of the teachings of the Master Jesus. It said, if they tell you that the kingdom of heaven is over here or it's over there, don't believe that foolishness. I tell you that the kingdom of heaven is within you and all around you. And so no matter what the external circumstances or situations are, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Blessings are at hand. Bliss is at hand. Wonderment and joy and bliss are at hand. And if we can hearken our ears to hear that, if we can focus our eyes to be able to see that, sometimes it takes looking a little bit differently, looking from a little bit of a different perspective, switching our angle, allowing our mindset to be tweaked in order to be able to see things from a more elevated perspective. From a more elevated perspective. Yes, when we're right down in the thick of things, it can be so easy to get caught up and to get weighed down by that. I'm not telling you this like it's easy, by the way. There are times and situations where I struggle with this too. But the reality is that no matter how chaotic things seem up close, when you start to look at it from a more panoramic perspective, when you look at it from a more elevated perspective, you see that everything that seems so big and so significant, it's really not that big after all. And it really helps things to be put in a totally different perspective, when you see how small things really are, when you see that there really is a greater order that is unfolding in the midst of it all. And I project my consciousness to some point in the thing that we call the future. I really believe, I know that we think a lot of times about remembering the past and creating a future, or changing what the future outcome could be. But I do believe in a reality where the future can be changed, where the past can be changed and the future can be remembered. And so in my moments of sober thinking, and in my moments of spiritual inspiration, I'm able to go to that place and experience reality from from a much more empowered awareness. And I project my consciousness into that thing that we call the future now. And I share with you from that space of things actually having unfolded in a much more peaceful manner, where there is harmony amongst the various humans on planet Earth, even amidst the different belief systems, even amidst the different perspectives, and the things that we have for so long hearkened on as points to keep us separated from one another and at each other's throats. But from that point in the future where we're operating and living together as one in harmony and peace and love with one another. And thinking back to the moments in 2020 where things seemed like such utter despair to so many people in so many ways. That is just from that point in the thing that we are now calling the future. That experience is just a distant memory. And we hold on to the memory from the perspective of, yeah, that's something that we went through. That's something that we grew through. And I really like that concept of went through. It's something that we went through. A lot of times we don't want to go through stuff, but if we think about it, we really don't want to get stuck in stuff. So it's much better to go through something to get than to get stuck in something. And so even if we've had times where we felt like we got stuck in something for a little while, I know that I feel like I was stuck in something for a little while, really, which was basically my own way, um, if I were to be honest about it. But that wasn't a permanent thing. It wasn't a life sentence. And once we get to the other side, once we get to the other, just like a baby being born, okay, the birth is not a comfortable process. Labor isn't a comfortable process, and the birth is an even more uncomfortable process. But after that birth takes place, what joy is experienced as a function of that after that? I see that Brenda put a comment about you started using a YouTube channel this year called The Homeroom Teacher, where you read books to students. Oh, that's awesome! And you're implementing other tools for children to use. You also opened your Etsy store where you sell designer crocheted hats that you yourself made. That is awesome. And it's called She Loves Me Nots. I'm actually going to put that on the screen so that anybody can see who's checking this out, even on the replay on YouTube, who may not necessarily be able to see that otherwise, because she's actually posting that from Facebook. So if you're on YouTube, you may not necessarily be able to see that, but I want to highlight She Loves Me Nots. You may want to follow her on Instagram, Brenda on Instagram at She Loves Me Nots as well. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Brenda, and anybody else. Thank you for that suggestion, Jennifer. Brenda, if you don't mind, please drop the link in the comments here so people can check that out when they get an opportunity. Also, I'd love to hear from others of you who would like to share some blessings that resulted for you in your life in the year 2020. At least for one of you, you got to be initiated in transcending the matrix. I would like to think that was a pretty favorable thing in your life experience, that was something that is counted as a blessing in your life. And I do believe that you do count it a blessing. As far as healing, I know that we've got a few people. We've only heard from a couple of people in the actual chat. I know that there are others who are watching and listening. What I would like to say is, if there's anybody who's experiencing any physical pain, anybody who's experiencing any physical health situation that you would like some support with, that's why we're here. We're happy to support. Please let us know. We'd be more than happy to support you in that way. I maintain that there is no situation that is beyond God's healing power. I'm very thankful to be able to be a blessing of that healing. I don't guarantee that it's going to work. I will say, however, that I have seen it work thousands of times with people from all different backgrounds, all different conditions, all over the world. And I haven't had to physically travel all over the world for it to happen. I'm not bragging on myself. The magic isn't me, but I am thankful for that power that is in all of us and being able to access it for the good of others and for the transformation of my own awareness and the elevation of my own spiritual growth, development, and unfoldment. And you too can access it. It's within every single one of us. It's just a matter of having access, and it's all you need. And I'm definitely more than happy to, to show you how to get access to that. We offer training towards that end. Like I said, we'll be having a training the early part of the new year. If you're interested in training, send me a direct message at Royce Fletcher Thomason, either on Facebook or on Instagram. You can actually just create it yesterday, I think it was, a Transcending the Matrix Instagram page. So you can actually send it directly to Transcending the Matrix on Instagram as well. And thank you, Brenda, for including that link. We're sharing it here too, so people can actually see that on the screen also. Okay. Now, again, is there anyone at all who would like to actually be able to experience some healing, some support as it relates to any type of physical health situation? Any at all? You don't have to suffer with pain. You don't have to suffer with illness and dis-ease. And really, you don't have to even expose yourself a whole lot in terms of if you're having an issue. You can just share if you have pain, where the pain is. We can address that. There may be a couple questions I ask you, like where the pain is, what the intensity of that pain is, or if you have another health condition. We're happy to address that. Or if you're just feeling lonely during the holidays because you can't go travel and see your family, or whatever the case is, 2 days before Christmas, please let us know. Like I said, that's what I'm here for. We're happy to be able to serve in this way. If nobody does, we'll just end the broadcast a little bit more quickly today, and I'll finish taking care of some Christmas preparation matters. So Jennifer says there's so many blessings of 2020, and TTM was one. I'm so glad. A new home, yes. Greater healing and development, awesome. You're so grateful, focused on how you can serve the world in new and exciting ways. Ashe, I heard that, Jennifer. Well, you go ahead and you be that essence woman, if you would, and keep on letting your light shine, and being the blessing in this earth that you are. Does anybody else have anything to share, or is anybody else wanting any particular type of healing support? I know there have been some times where we've gone over 2 hours. We're just a little bit over a half hour today, but if it's just going to be a short one today, I'm cool with that as well. I'll just give you all just a few moments to respond, because I know it takes a few minutes, for you to be able to hear what I'm saying, since it's going through the third party app. I hear you, Jennifer. You're just singing "This Little Light of Mine" yesterday. Well, you keep on letting it shine, why don't you? Blessings to you. Blessings to all of you. Blessings to all of you. Well, we're going to, if there's nothing that anybody is specifically requesting, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down early today. There's still some stuff I need to do in preparation for my father's natal day, which is tomorrow, and some other stuff that I will be needing to tend to. It's been a busy week so far, and I still have a lot to tend to. So, but I'm very thankful for every opportunity to be able to come here and connect with you all. And I pray the richest blessings upon you. In fact, I speak blessings upon your life as you begin to, and we will likely be back next Wednesday. So there will be another Hope and Healing hour. Thank you for the birthday wishes to my dad, Brenda. Hopefully there will be another Hope and Healing hour next Wednesday, which will be 2 days before New Year's. But nonetheless, as we prepare to close out this year, I just want to speak over your life blessings, blessings, and more blessings. That your perspective may be shifted to see all of the good that is making its way to you. That your capacity to receive might be increased, as well as your capacity to give. May the size of your cup be expanded. And may your cup still be filled to the point of running over, so that all kind of blessings spill over, fill your life and spill over from your life into the lives of others. As you go about this holiday season and whatever holiday or holidays you celebrate, or even if you don't celebrate any holidays. And please know that every single day is holy. Every day is a gift of God. Every moment there is something profound taking place. May we have eyes to see those things. May we have ears to hear the music, the sweet melodies of the universe. Um, and the cosmic concerto that is unfolding for all of us, and be able to enjoy the greater harmony that is indeed unfolding as we are aligning our consciousness, our awareness with higher principles, higher spiritual principles. May we hold ourselves accountable for that which we know. And may we take what we know and use it for the greater good of the planet and all living beings everywhere. May love reign in the hearts and in the souls of all beings throughout the cosmos. On this day, each day, I'm speaking it into the various dimensions of existence and to all generations of time, past, present, and future. Ashe, Aho, Amen. Peace and blessings to you all. I love you. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy New Year. Many blessings to you.